Well, hello, my beautiful nail babes and nail friends. Welcome back to the channel. I am Lena, the nail authority herself. If you are new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Hopefully you'll hear some information enough to know to make you want to hit that like and subscribe button. If you are an oldie but goodie, you know that my heart is here. I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming back to hear all the banter. Nevertheless, people, I'm going to be talking today about some things that I literally mean this, will not do nails without. So some of you may know, some of you may not know, I am a licensed nail tech, and I am also a corporate girly. So I'm one of those people that works a full-time gig and then does nails part-time on the side. So I want to be able to show you what I use to do nails. I use both professional and non-professional products. Professional products meaning that you cannot obtain them unless you have a manicuring or a cosmetology license. So without further ado, people, let's dive right into the video. Alright, people, so the first thing that I want to show you all, something that I use is that I like to start off with a clean service. When my clients come in, the first thing that I have them to do is to wash their hands. So I probably should have gotten that out, but I keep these containers like this of where I have my disinfected nail brushes in, and I give all of my clients there is a clean disinfected manicure brush for each of my clients when they come in, for them to wash their hands before we even start the service. Okay, so this is number one for me. When I go ahead and I'm ready to proceed with the surface on their hands, the next thing that I use is 70% alcohol. Okay, and I have everything labeled because in my state everything has to be labeled. Okay, and then I use these these fine mist spray bottles to like just spray the alcohol, because you just press once and it produces a fine mist worth of alcohol in that on their hands to help with further disinfecting their hands. The reason I use 70% and not 91 or higher percent is because anything past 70% actually dries too fast to kill any bacteria or anything like that that is on the hands. I know people say, oh, well, higher the better. Not necessarily, because 70% dries in enough time where it kills and it breaks through the cell wall, for those of you that are into the science part of the human body, and 70% is what you want to use to be able to kill like the iggly jigglies that are on people's hands. So that's why 70%, not 91, 70%, because 91 in that dries too fast, because I do let their hands in that dry. They usually like fan their hands in that around to give it time to work and kill, like I said, the heebie-jeebies that are on their hands. It's also to protect me, because especially with all the nastiness and stuff that's out here, people can be really nasty. I need to make sure your hands are clean. The next thing that I use to wipe down the nail plate, I use 100% acetone. Okay, and this is actually an old swipe bottle that was from Young Nails, and I repurposed it and put acetone in it, because if you don't know, you cannot put acetone just in any bottle. So for those of you who may be going to the dollar store and you looking for bottles and stuff to put these chemicals, because believe it or not, alcohol and acetone are chemicals. If you're looking for acetone bottles, what you want to do is look at the bottom of the bottle, okay, and you'll see, I'm gonna see if I can get it in here. Let's see. You may or may not be able to see that, but there's a little triangle, and at the bottom it says HDPE, and I believe that stands for HDPE, so high density polyethylene, and there's a number 2 that's on the inside of that. Okay, I know that there's a couple of other densities of plastic, but you have to look at the bottom and the type of plastic that you are putting acetone into, because if you're just using those cheap little $1 bottles and you're not getting the right grade of plastic, you will come into your studio with a complete mess. Okay, because it will have literally eaten through that bottle. Okay, so it's very important that you look at the bottom, look at the little triangle. It tells you the type of plastic it is. Look for the triangle with a number 2 in there, and I'll see if I can put something down in the description box to be able to tell you some other grades of plastic to look for that you can put acetone in. But these are what I use for my disinfectant and degreaser. All right, so that's that. When it comes to what I use to wipe down the nail plates, my lint-free wipes. These are a must for me. Okay, and I get these. All these are some, as you see here, some all-purpose non-woven gauze. Okay, this is what I use for my lint-free wipes. I'll put a link down in the description box. I buy these off of Amazon, 1,000 at a time, a lot less costly, and it is readily accessible to anybody. And these things are like holy grail for me. This is what I use. So the link will be down in the box so you'll know exactly which ones that I purchased and that I use. Like, I do not do nails without my lint-free wipes, okay? The next thing that I usually use after that are my prep products, okay? So once you basically degrease the nail to a certain extent, got all the oils in that off to make sure that nail is dry, the next thing that I use is primer. So there are two types of primers that I personally use, okay? The first one is a non-acid primer. And for those of you who don't know, this is the Young Nails Protein Bond. This is a non-acid primer. For most people, this is the holy grail to do nails with. And usually has great adhesion on people. I work on a lot of people who are in the medical field, who are nurses and such, and that by itself doesn't necessarily work for me with my clients. It might work for other people, but for me, I have to use them in combination with what is called an acid primer. So this is no lift nails. This, yes, is readily available with your Sally Beauty Supply and other stuff, but this is I think this is some type of methyl acid. You have to, let me see, yeah, methacrylic acid. You have to be careful how you use this, because if you get it on your skin or your client's skin, it will burn. And I know there's a lot of conversations. We've even heard some people that are in bigger companies and say, why would you want to use that? This tends to dry the nail plate off exceptionally well for me, because I put this on very lightly. You do not want to flood the nail, you don't want to flood the nail grooves and everything with this. You put on a very light coat. I let it dry chalky, because what it does is that it etches the surface of the nails, which is another nice name for saying almost dissolves a bit of the nail. But that's why it can be very difficult for people who have very thin nails to use stuff like this, because they have filed away or have ripped off their nails to the point that stuff like this can be very sensitive on the nail plate. So you have to be very careful when using this on the nail plates of people, especially who have very thin nails. So you got to watch that, but this will work for me for those clients that are more the problem lifters. I put this on first, let it dry chalky, then I go in with my Young Nails Protein Bond, let it sit 10 or 15 seconds, and then go ahead and begin with my service. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk to you about are my brushes. Brushes are a huge thing for me because they are your tools, okay? When it comes to acrylic, hands down, I do have a video here on my channel that does talk about the brushes and that I do use, that I have used, and hands down the number one for me is the Young Nails number 12 Greg Signature brush, the acrylic brush. This has been my holy grail. I have used brushes. Don't get me wrong, I do love my brushes from Atwood Industries, so that's another good place to get brushes from. I've used brushes from different nail supplies, from other houses. This is the brush that I realize I come back to time and time again. I own over 30 acrylic brushes, y'all, okay? I have spent the money. Nobody sent me those. I spent the money trying to look for a brush. I done tried all the ones that's on Amazon, and people will swear by them. They probably good for them. It was not good for me. This is my holy grail brush. It is the Greg's Signature number 12 brush from Young Nails, okay? When it comes to hard gel, because I'm a tech that works in both hard gel and acrylic. I do a little bit of poly gel, but not as much. I tend to stick to your builders in a bottle, acrylic and hard gel. When it comes to hard gel, this is an art brush, but my Accents Art 05 brush, and it has a cap, okay? I don't clean off my brush, so you might be able to see that there's product left on it, because I always leave a little bit of gel inside of my brush. But this is what I use to apply my hard gel and that with, and I love it because it has a cap. Anything that has to deal with hard gel, make sure you keep it out of the way of sunlight. I don't care if it's indirect sunlight. If light is shining through that room, you work with any gel products, honey, you better make sure it's a cover on it, because you will be surprised you come through and wonder why your brushes and everything hard as a rock and didn't know it's because this so-calledly indirect light that came through, and it's the rays that still came through there, and it still cured your stuff on your brush. But this is what I use to apply hard gel. When it comes to applying the base products and that, like base and color, I have a couple other brushes for that. I get these from Michael's. These are the Simply Simmons Filbert number 6 brush, okay? And I have it labeled. You may or may not be able to see it. I just usually wrap a piece of tape around it and write on it. This is my brush for my base. I have one for glitter, I have one for light colors, I have one for dark colors, and then occasionally I have used this as well, and I've cut it and trimmed it to be also used it for hard gel, because there's been times when I've had to travel and I've left my accents brush at home. This is my trusty backup. They're only $3 at Michael's. So this is what I like to use. I use these because they are readily accessible. They're cheap. You can get to them. It's not a product. It's not an item that you'd have to have a license in order to buy or anything like that. And I tend to use those brushes with my potted hard gel polishes. So a hard gel polish does not soak off, and this is what I choose to use on my clients because it just doesn't chip on them. So I use either the Medusa Nails hard gel polishes that are in a pot, and or I like the Light Elegance buttercreams. Okay, so that's what I use those brushes for. The other brush that I like to use, this is my Vetro number 19 oval brush, and again has a cap, as you see, quite thin. This is what I use to polish when I am using, if I don't have my Michael's brushes, or they need to be wiped out or something like that, which is I usually keep my stuff really clean. This is what I use to polish out of for my hard gel polishes and pots, so to say. Okay, let us talk base products and stuff as well. One of the base products in that I will not work without when it comes to monomer, I like the Young Nails nail liquid, or Young Nails monomer. Okay, the reason being, for me, the Young Nails monomer is at a great price point. They tend to run quite a few sales that makes it where it's cost competitive for me. Don't get me wrong, there are other nail liquids I do like. I do like Tammy Taylor's nail liquid. I do like C&D's nail liquid. Those are the three that I have pretty much migrated to. I've tried some other ones, like, I've tried like No Lift Nails at Sally's. I didn't like it. I'll just say that. I also have tried things like Mia Secret. I didn't like it. Okay, I've tried other nail liquids in that. I can name a couple of other companies, but Young Nails is just my tried and true, especially for when it comes to cost. Okay, so when it comes to monomer, for me, it's all about the Young Nails nail liquid. When it comes to acrylic powders, okay, this is where I kind of have a couple that I like to use. So I'm going to show you the options of what I do use for if you are licensed versus if you are not licensed. Okay, if you're not licensed, the two base products, not the colored powders, I'm just talking about straight your core and your cover powders. For me, the first one is Young Nails. Again, cost, but this is also an excellent product. You have to learn how to use this because Young Nails tends to flow a little bit more, so you have to learn how to use it to, as Greg would say, control the run, because it can be a little more runny than some of the other products in that I want to show you today. But I definitely use all of the core and the speed powders and that are from Young Nails, and my clients tend to migrate towards a lot of the colors in that they have as well. I also do use Valentino for some of my girlies who want more of those encapsulated nail designs. They want a pinker powder. Don't get me wrong, I can use the Young Nails, especially Cover Flamingo powder, and I just use their Liquid Art, which just comes, let me see if I got it around here somewhere. If I don't, I'll just have to use it in another video so I can show you how to change the color of your acrylic powder so that you don't have to buy 5,000 of them. Okay, but there's another video. But anywho, those are two that you can buy if you are not licensed. If you are licensed, one of my go-to powders that probably forever will be is my Tammy Taylor nail powder. Okay, my Tammy Taylor, especially P3, the pink or pink is pink or whatever it is. This is my tried and true if you are licensed. I also like C&D's powder. I will be honest, I haven't tried the newer ones that have come out, because most of the ones I was finishing up some of the older powders that I had. I did like those, but when it comes to what I notice I migrate to all the time, or it's pretty much the Tammy Taylor. But if you don't know Tammy, she's expensive. She's a little more expensive, okay? And her sales are not anywhere near as good as what I have found through Young Nails and sometime a little bit of Valentino. For me, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to the color powders on Valentino, they're not my favorite. I do like to use them like in place of pigment powders the colored acrylic powders from Valentino, but for when it comes to core powders, your cover foundation powders in that, I stick to Young Nails primarily, and I do like the core and cover powders from Valentino. All right, let's talk hard gel. Some of you may or may not know what hard gel is. If they telling you you're getting gel nails at the salon shop and you have never seen a liquid-based product that pretty much does this, that has a flow that's moving around, this is what hard gel is, okay? This you have to be able to put on the nail, and then you have to stick your hand in an LED or a UV lamp, which is CCFL, or LED lamp, in order for you to be able to cure it, which means to harden it on the nail, okay? So when it comes to hard gel products, there's something that you need before you can put down the hard gel, and I primarily use two systems. One is the Young Nails Synergy system, okay? I use all the colors. I love the Build Pink for when I'm doing encapsulation, even on top of acrylic. I love the clear and the Build Pink for encapsulation, even on top of acrylic. And my other hard gel that I like to use is from Light Elegance. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. This just happens to be the Baby Pink Extreme. I can show you next to me right here. I think I'm missing maybe only 3 colors from a Light Elegance, and that's just depending on what my clients have migrated towards. But these are the two systems that I use when it comes to hard gel. Young Nails you can buy without a license. Light Elegance, you do need a license to purchase these. I prefer a lot of the Light Elegance. I have quite a few clients who have sensitivities to some nail products in that. These are HEMA-free products, and I do know that the Young Nails products are HEMA-free gels, all of them except the Flex gel, okay? And you tend to use that Flex gel when you're mixing in glitters and things like that. So these are my two systems, non-licensed, licensed, that you have to have, that are my go-tos. But before you can even put down those hard gels, you need something that's sticky. So when it comes to using the Young Nail system, I usually use the protein bond for that system. Now when it comes to the Light Elegance system, I use tack. Tack is like their sticky tape, their version of their sticky tape, like the protein bond. That is for the system that works with Light Elegance. You gotta be licensed to grab this, okay? I do like this. They also have one. I accidentally threw away the bottle, and I was like, why did I do that? They have a acid primer as well called Vita Prime that works exceptionally well in that, but I tend to stick to the no lift nails because it's more readily available and it's a little cheaper too. Okay, for base for Young Nails, I use the base, the Synergy base. I tend to keep things in a lot of smaller jars like this because I have an organizer next to me, and each of them has these like little small drawers, and so I like to be able to make sure that I can get maximum amount of products within my reach, and so I tend to put things in small jars and different things like that next to me, or keep the smaller jars, might clean them out and refill them with some of my larger products in that. Okay, so that we didn't already covered acrylic, we covered hard gel. Now let's cover your more like builder in a bottle. Okay, I do use builders in the bottle, or you might be considering building base or whatever that you can use and build extensions with these products. But again, I got a licensed and a non-licensed item for you. Okay, so for the non-licensed item, I love the Young Nails Manicure Fiber Gel with Keratin. This stuff has been absolutely amazing. It comes in clear, it comes into what is like a sheer pink, there's a creamy nude, there's a white. Love this stuff. Okay, so if you're not licensed, or even if you are licensed, you can get this stuff, and I do use this to build out extensions. I have used this as the base to acrylic for some of my clients who have been problem lifters. This stuff works exceptionally well. I do use this to adhere full cover tips as well. Okay, this stuff is just amazing. Absolutely love it. For my licensed option, I love the Light Elegance Jimmy Gel. Okay, Light Elegance Jimmy Gel. I use this to also encapsulate over acrylic in that as well. So in addition to using hard gel, because this is a soak off, okay, these two products you can soak off. The Manicure Fiber Gel with Keratin and the Jimmy Gel you can soak off. you cannot soak off hard gel. So this Light Elegance and the Young Nails hard gel, you cannot soak those off, but you can soak off these builder in a bottle type products here. So the Jimmy Gel, this comes in different colors as well. This is clear. They also have like a sheer pink color. There's a peach color, and that I pretty much own all of them. They like sitting over there too. Anywho, lots of talking here, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to be able to get you all the information. So those are the things that I like that I won't. Those are my base foundational products. I will not do nails without. And last but not least, I will not do nails without my e-file. Gotta have an e-file. So I'm gonna show you the e-file that I use. That is my primary. I use this heavy monster here. This is the Coupa Mani Pro KP5000. Okay, this is not the machine that you see on Temu or Shein or even Amazon or even eBay. That's like 40 or 50 bucks. The sucker's like, I think like 400 and some dollars through Coupa. It was stupid expensive, but the reason I love this is because it does have, you know, the handpiece or whatever. You can pick your handpiece from Coupa. They have a couple different options, and it has a foot pedal. So as I am e-filing on my client, I can adjust the speed depending on where I'm going around the nail or if I need to speed up, slow down. Love this. This thing is a workhorse. I use this. It's a plug-in. This is not portable. Okay, so you need to know that this is not portable. It does. You have to plug this into a power source for it to work. So this is the one that sits on my desk. When it comes to portability and me doing pedicures and things like that, it is my Coupa Mani Pro Passport. Okay, this thing again has the motor, the handpiece that is connected to it. If you don't know, the handpiece is pretty much the motor of the e-file, and this is more so just like the battery system power source right here. And this is what I use for my pedicures and stuff. I actually have an AZ Go-Go that is less expensive. I think it's like 40 bucks. It's actually sitting on my other cart that's in front of me, that when I have forgotten to charge this thing, because it is portable. This is portable, okay, you all, this is portable. I use my AZ Go-Go. It's a less expensive machine. It's only like 40 bucks. I'll make sure to link it down in the description box for you, and it works exceptionally well. I love that one as well. That's actually my travel e-file, because if something were to happen, I would be ready to swallow my tongue. This is like a $350 e-file. This is a portable e-file, but my AZ Go-Go is like 40 or 50 bucks, something like 30 to 50 bucks. I can't remember, but I'll make sure to link it down below for you. But won't do nails without those, okay? Will not do nails without those. And last but not least, I forgot to show you all this because, you know, you need to see it. Files. I have a couple different file systems that I use. I forgot to add that too. The first one is the Light Elegance Perfect Files, the Perfect Nail Files, the 100, 180. I have learned to effectively do nails where the 100 side is for my finished file and for my acrylic, or 180 is what I use for like hard gel, and when I am lightly shaping the nail, I can use the 180 side, and I also use the 180 side to finish buffing the nail when I am prepping it for the hard gel products. For my, what do I want to call it, manicures in that, I actually like the Stylix. This is the disposable file system. These are the 240 grit, and basically all you end up doing is that, for me, I end up putting them on a nail file, and I just slide this on it, and then you use it, file, take it off, throw it away. Okay, that's one of the systems I like to use. I do like to use them too because they are much more expensive, but I do like them. I do like them for toes and that as well, because it's on this very, very thin file board. You can see this. See how thin that file board is, so that, you know, I'm not cutting anybody when I'm filing. Okay, and last but not least, my backup file that I use, like if I can't get to my Light Elegance files, are the Tammy Taylor peel and stick files. Okay, Tammy Taylor, you can get these off of Amazon though. You can get Tammy Taylor files off of Amazon, but again, it's a little more expensive, because I think for like 50 you're gonna pay like 40 bucks for these peel and sticks, but this will last you through your whole service. I have tried all of the other packs of files that's at the beauty supply store, that's on Amazon. I don't like any of them. I don't. This is just what I use. This is what I like. I also have my own files that I like, but that's another story for another day. But nevertheless, I got to show you all some of the things that I do nails with that I will not do nails without, and hopefully you've seen some goodies in that help you, that you can add to your arsenal, that will assist you in being able to get your clients a beautiful set of nails. Not to say that there is other things that you can use, it's just that from all the money that I've spent on nails, God knows I've spent so much money, so many dollars I can never get back. Anywho, neither here nor there. There's nothing I can do. They're into the stratosphere. The streets have them now. This is just what I have come down to, what I have seen time and time again repetitively on clients has worked for me. Okay. Nevertheless, my word of wisdom for today is, if you can, avoid buying cheap, because we have a saying in nails, it might be in every industry, you buy cheap, you buy twice. Okay. For some people, they can find cheaper stuff and it works. I have found for me that was not the case. I had to invest money in doing my nails. Invest in yourself. Invest when you're doing for your clients. Give yourself the best, because you don't want to look up and you work with something cheap now and it works for you now. You're like, oh, I don't see any problems, and then 3 years later, boop, come up, you got an allergy now. Because if you don't know, there's a large body of evidence showing that if you become allergic to nail products, that you might be allergic to medical and dental products. That means fillings, that means joint replacement components, and because they're all pretty much made of the same materials, just in different chemical compositions. You don't want that to happen to you. You don't want that to happen to you, so don't do it. So nevertheless, people, that is my word of wisdom for today. And you know what it is that I'm about to say, and that is, life is too short to have boring nails. So don't. And we're out.